in danger.
Right.
That's why they was able to close the courtroom. We'd have been outed, but they played a cold game. I give it to her. They was playing chess and we was playing checkers.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, D-Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself.
I'm back. When Meech filmed that video, he had no idea about how quickly his entire world was about to come crashing down. And if the snitching allegations are proven to be true, forget about his life rights. Big Meech could lose the streets and join his son on the unemployment line. But wait, before we jump to conclusions, we gotta check out what everybody had to say on this one. This Big Meech and 50 Cent drama has certainly turned out to be the surprise package of 2025 so far. And the rabbit hole keeps getting deeper by the day, which is why it's worth going over everything we know so far, starting from the top. Big Meech was an icon on the streets, running one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the country. His influence was so wide that he pretty much became infamous, a legend, true to the gangster philosophy and all that.
Everybody is from somewhere else different. You don't get nothing like this nowhere. Everybody move like brothers, and everything start with the leader. I'm a good leader, so I got good people that follow. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. If you can only be like the nigga that's running your crew. If you got a robbing ass boss, then you're gonna be a robbing ass crew. If you got a real boss who know how to sacrifice and take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men, then this what you get. Everybody shining like new money.
But then at some point in the late 2000s, he got locked up on some really hardcore charges. He was sentenced to 30 years in the slammer. But even from the inside of a cell in federal prison, Big Meech still had a ton of goodwill and influence on the outside world, or at least it looked that way. BMF was more than a drug operation in Atlanta. They had artists on the payroll and they all referred to Big Meech as the boss. Even artists who weren't affiliated with BMF had tons of respect for him. Two of those included Rick Ross and 50 Cent, and we already know how big of a role both of them ended up playing in this Big Meech downfall. But anyway, fast forward to 2024, and Big Meech gets released on probation after serving only 19 of that initial 30-year sentence. That's a serious time cut. And people on the streets always raise an eyebrow when they hear a gangster coming home early. Unless you took a bullet for the president or something. There's a pretty high chance that the reason for that is snitching. And this was where we gotta talk about Cuffy. Cuffy himself is a crime boss operating out of St. Louis. He is a BMF affiliate, meaning he and Meech, he too found himself in prison. And in this current year of 2025, he still is. Recently, he came forward accusing Big Meech of being a snitch.
And Tammy Cowens, known in the paperwork as CS1.
Right.
Confidential source 1. So what Big Meech did was called a third-party cooperation. So Tammy Cowens signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut, plain and simple.
Tammy Cowens has been a government informant since around the same time Big Meech and a whole lot of BMF members were locked up in the late 2000s. She allegedly took the case to cut Meech's time by being a third-party snitch. This is also how Tammy got Meech to sign over his life rights to her. Tammy served as the trusted personnel who Big Meech would slip information to. Tammy and Special Agent Keith Cromer then set up a sting operation to take down Cuffy. They organized a fake drug deal, and although it was a success, the case got tossed out in court because Tammy and the DEA Special Agent were having an affair, which in turn meant that Big Meech couldn't get his time cut.
What's his name again, big homie?
Special Agent Keith Cromer.
Special Agent Keith Cromer. is the new special agent after Jack Harvey retired. Now he's her handler, and they engulfed in a personal relationship, however they called it in the court. And through that relationship, it tainted the case, and it was dishonorable at that point. They had to throw that out. That's why Meech didn't get out.
But even though Meech couldn't get out on that case alone, it was enough to convict Cuffy. From the evidence presented in the conspiracy, Cuffy was indicted on 2 murder charges and had to plead guilty to 2 gun charges instead. In order to throw out the murder charges, despite Cuffy not even being the main target of the investigation, all of a sudden, he was in a super tight spot. In all of that though, the only 2 things we know for sure is that 1, Tammy Cowens is the confidential source named in the paperwork, and 2, Tammy owned Big Meech's life rights. She's an executive producer on the Starz show that 50 runs. So when you put those 2 things together, it paints a pretty clear picture, and that picture doesn't look good for Meech. But that's not even the worst part. Remember when we said that Tammy started working as a government informant around the same time that the BMF crew got locked up? Well, that ain't no coincidence, because Tammy started off working with the same special agent that had the BMF crew locked up to begin with. This was Special Agent Jack Harley. He was her controlling officer before he retired. Then she got put on the Meech case by his replacement, Special Agent Keith Cromer, who allegedly, it was rumored that they began an intimate relationship together. And all of this information was revealed by Blue Da Vinci, BMF member who was with Tammy in the early 2000s.
She wasn't no informant yet. She didn't become an informant until 2009. Some people be like, "Oh, Blue, they said that was your girl. She was a rat when she was your girl." No, the fuck she wasn't. She was regular. She didn't become an informant until 2009. I fucked with her in 2003. 2000, barely a little bit of 2004. That was 5 6. Right, this is the timeline. So now look, boom, 2009, she signed up to do the first case with Terry White. Why do she do the first case with Terry White? Because she came to them people with that information to work Meech shit, but who she came to was Meech's controlling officer. See, this is the fine points that people don't look at. When you look at the person that was her controlling officer on the Terry White case, his name was Special Agent Jack Harvey, okay? Special Agent Jack Harvey is the special agent that locked us all up, bro.
This rabbit hole goes very deep because Blue himself ain't all that clean, allegedly. He did a debrief on his way out of jail, and ever since then, homie's been calling him up to ask him what was in those documents. But that aside, the one underlying fact in all this seems to be Tammy Cowens. This lady's up in everybody's business. I mean, even Cuffy was doing a deal with her to try and get the BMF movie before 50 Cent came along. And of course, before Big Meech allegedly set him up, word was that Cuffy put down $1 million for the project, but it never got anywhere. Instead, Cuffy went down on a failed operation by Big Meech. Funny enough, when Whack 100 spoke to Cam Capone, he said Meech should have gone down with Cuffy on a mandatory 10-year sentence since the evidence against Cuff also implicated Meech.
This is the only place where it's just not on Tammy and it's not on this, to where the FBI identified that he met this dude in the county jail, Michigan. He then contacted Cuffy and orchestrated the whole drug transaction. Now here goes the thing, you already doing 30 for the same charge. So now they got you 6 years later. Dead to bang, telephone, you orchestrated with the drug cartel member to do the drug transaction with Cuffy. They identified that Big Meech is the one that did this. That carry a mandatory 10 years.
And ever since all of this had came to light, Big Meech has stayed quiet, which is probably the right move. The whole drama with Rick Ross that led 50 to going off on Big and Lil Meech got them needing to re-strategize. I mean, everybody knows that 50 is all about loyalty. And if you don't come with that, well, then you best be prepared for whatever wild antic 50 comes to the table with, because we all know he's coming. And he's ready. 50 leaked a phone call he had with Tammy where she's basically agreeing to tell some kind of absolute truth.
I agree. It's unfortunate, right? Yeah. It really is, but I agree. So, we'll just let it be told when the story gets told. Yeah. And I'm only going to stick to the truth and keep it pushing, right?
That's it. That's all it is.
This is what 50 is capable of. He weaponizes information. This man made a whole cartoon show dissing Rick Ross. There ain't nobody more petty. Seems like the biggest loser in this is Lil Meech, especially after 50 done cut him off and he lost his acting role.
You in Atlanta at that when indulging spending money. Like you see a motherfucking with 100,000 poking out his pocket. Just doing 40, 50,000 in the club. That's what you around. You gonna spend money. Chrome Heart jeans. You got 10 pair of those, do the math. What's that, 100,000? Shout to Chrome Heart. You know what I'm saying? But you know me, I get some Chrome Hearts, I'm gonna wear them shits for at least 2 weeks. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yayo and 50 also got a taste of how bad Meech act around money in a conversation they had after he got out of jail. Yayo said Meech was tripping over the fact that when Lil Baby pulled up for him, he didn't come with no care packages. Neither Yayo or 50 were impressed by that sort of attitude.
But when we go to your crib and me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, Little Baby ain't give me no money. He came in a Ferrari truck, he had the Ferrari truck, he had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, this nigga tripping. Like, Lil Baby he's not obligated to give you nothing. I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind. Because he said it to me and Murder and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn, this nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home. But I understand how it is to be a young black man with money and you don't make the right decisions.
For both Big Meech and his son, the fallout of this beef with 50 is catastrophic for different reasons. For Lil Meech, his whole acting career is on the line here. All he got was 50 putting him on to do the show where he plays his own father. Unless he's got some Hollywood favors he could call in, bro might be in serious trouble. I mean, he already doing $500 promos on Instagram.
Yo, boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, if you're trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
To make things worse for Lil Meech, 50 ain't letting up. He took to Instagram to expose Lil Meech's struggles with drug use. I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing drugs. He telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as fuck on set. He started throwing up at a weapons test, and then Ian told me the Lil Ninja had whippets in his truck. I said, what the fuck is whippets? I look at it, it's the shit that be in BB guns. Not only is information like that bad for Lil Meech's career, but it also reflects bad on Big Meech. Encouraging the kids to take drugs? Better hope that's not true. But anyway, with this, whatever tiny hope there was for 50 and Meech squashing the beef is now dead. The new strategy from Big Meech and Lil Meech seems to be just trying to spite 50. They out here taking photos with all his ops. Rick Ross, Floyd Mayweather, Supreme's son, letting everyone know they don't care no more. This whole thing seems to be far from over, and we don't know for certain if Big Meech is actually a rat. Remember, we haven't seen no paperwork. But on the other hand, we all know that 50 Cent don't come outside without any receipts. And if that angle ain't true, yo, we know 50 can still ruin him in about 500 other ways. We just gotta wait and see. Comment, like, and share. Alright, until next time, love, peace, and blessings.